Before I took office, there were a lot of folks out there making some pretty bold predictions about how things would turn out.
But if Biden wins, your borders are gone.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard.
Now, with the record number of migrants crossing into the U.S., pushing resources to the limit in many American cities.
Former Vice President Joe Biden promised to give free federal health care to anyone in the world who illegally crosses our border.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
His plan to provide government health care to illegal immigrants would bankrupt our health care system.
Tonight, one of Colorado's largest hospitals facing a crisis, but they're struggling to handle a spike in migrant patients.
It's been really, really hard to take care of them, both in terms of their inability to pay, but also just the sheer volume of patients that we weren't expecting.
The middle class is gone.
I don't understand anymore. I don't understand how I make $34 an hour and I can't function.
The average family in America has lost nearly $6,000 of purchasing power. That
the middle class is getting crushed, and the media doesn't want to talk about it. Certainly, the administration doesn't want to talk about it. You know what the average FICO score for the new home equity lines was in Q3? 792.
What?
Only incredibly wealthy people that have got the juice were able to get the home equity line.
Your safety is gone.
Tonight, we identify several suburbs that have seen an explosion in shootings and murders.
Data shows shootings were at an all-time high last year.
The number of people killed in Minneapolis is up 95% from the same time last summer.
Gas prices going $5, $6, $7 for a gallon.
I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel. No new fracking.
I gradually move away from fracking.
They want to do the same thing I want to do. They want to phase out fossil fuels, and we're going to phase out fossil fuels.
This morning, gas prices soaring to the highest average ever recorded, $4.17 a gallon.
How long is it fair to expect American drivers and drivers around the world to pay that premium for this war?
As long as it takes.
Flood your communities with criminal aliens, drugs, and crime.
Steve Natasha, we've been hearing for a while now about a group of migrants connected to a string of robberies, and today the NYPD is taking action.
The men swarmed around the officers already on the ground by this point, striking them both multiple times.
You want to know why our cops are getting assaulted? There's no consequences.
Those guys were freed without bail.
To spend trillions of dollars rebuilding foreign nations, fighting foreign wars, and defending foreign borders.
I'm sending Congress a supplemental budget request. It's going to allow pensions and social support to be paid to the Ukrainian people so they have something in their pocket.
Now, I say additional $10 billion because he had already asked Congress to authorize $22.5 billion. So this would be another $10 billion on top of that. Okay.
The president defending his expected Friday request to Congress, an unprecedented estimated $105 billion in security funding for Israel and Ukraine. $60 billion is said to be slated for the fight against Russia.
So for all those predictions of doom and gloom, here's where we stand.
You want to use the word recession or depression?
Well, the United States recorded its second consecutive negative GDP report today, something that traditionally means we're in a recession.
You know Biden, he can't stand up to the lunatics running his party. He can't even find his way off the stage.
Look, the bottom line is this.
I say you're not doing a very good job.
The news is getting worse for Biden, from a 4-point lead to a 5-point deficit now over the matter of 9 months or so. The approval rating has a lot to do with that. You mentioned 37%, the lowest we've ever recorded Biden at in our poll, the lowest any president's clocked in at.
But many of those people were there to protest the taking down of the statue of Robert E. Lee. So this week it's Robert E. Lee. I wonder, is it George Washington next week? And is it Thomas Jefferson the week after? You know, you really do have to ask yourself, where does it stop? The statue of Thomas Jefferson in the city council chamber has been removed. The statue was taken down from its pedestal earlier today to be moved to the New York Historical Society. Some council members had objected to its presence because of Jefferson's history as a slave owner.
In another case, the student newspaper, the University of Virginia, founded and built by Thomas Jefferson, has now advocated removing all references to Thomas Jefferson.
For the second time in a month and a half, a statue of Abraham Lincoln is vandalized by anti-colonizer activists.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about, China.
What you know about President? He made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow.
That is simply
various
not
other places.
true.
So it's from two different debates, but I mean, Trump was right. I mean, he did make a fortune from China, and Joe Biden was wrong.
Well. How the turntables.
Is one's Trump derangement syndrome causing more damage than anything that Trump could have actually done? And I think the answer is yes, because it's now causing us to not see that good work and then embrace and extend it. So much of the work that happened in that administration turns out to have been right. And that's what's so frustrating for me. The work on the border wall. We didn't like the messenger, so we killed the message. Turned out it was right. Issuing long-term debt to refinance when rates were at zero. We didn't like the messenger, so we killed the message. A structural peace in the Middle East. We didn't like the messenger, so we killed the message. When are we going to stop shooting ourselves in the foot?